Okay, I want to put out a quick disclaimer here just to say that I feel like my eyeshadow looks pretty nice, but actually it was a struggle to get here. I used the Laila 2 from Blush Tribe for the first time, and I mean, I'm not saying that this is bad, but my first experience with the palette wasn't good, put it that way. I was going for a really quick and easy, just breezy look, and I think I spent more time on this than I do like my detailed eye looks because nothing was wanting to stick after I put down this yellow. I think I tried 1, 2, 3 different greens in my crease, and that's as dark as I could get it. Anyway, I just want to throw that out there. I am using the Blush Tribe Laila 2. Blush Tribe is closed down now, rebranded. I just figured I would address it because I feel like when I get up close, my eye look looks a little rough. But anyway, hey y'all, it's Katie and welcome back. We are going to be getting into Stamped Winged Liner. You guys have known, I think it's been over a year and a half at this point, that I love the Vamp Stamp in Vixen specifically. They have a couple different sizes, but I love Vixen because it gives me that really sharp wing that now that I'm looking at this, I feel like I could have filled it out a little on the bottom. Whatever, wings are never perfect in a day. But anyway, I've been raving about this for so long, and I had someone leave a comment saying, hey, could you try or have you tried the Quick Flicks that is kind of the same concept as this, except it's a stamp. So instead of this, where it's a tool that you have to dip into a pot and then stamp it onto your eye, this is like all ready to go. It's kind of like a liquid liner, but it has a stamp tool applicator on this end. But anyway, so I'd never tried it before. I feel like I've seen a lot of reviews on it and people really do like it, but I haven't seen many compare these two. So when I got that comment asking if I would, I was like, sure, let me try it out and see if I like it. I never thought to purchase this because I feel like even getting it and trying it, it still kind of holds true to my reasons for not getting it in the past, is because these are felt stamps that you have to repurchase every 3 to 6 months whenever it dries out. I guess I should have looked on the box how long. Yeah, it says 3 months. So every 3 months you have to purchase it again. I got this a year and a half ago and I don't have to repurchase it because it's a tool that I can clean off. And while yes, they do have their own product that I think I still have up here, but it is totally drying out. This is over a year old, but it's definitely getting to the drying out point. They have this that you can use to stamp in, but I never use that anymore because it's drying out. But it's also just easier to use whatever I'm going to use to line my eyes. Pretty much any type of liquid felt or brush tip liner will work with this tool. So I feel like that right there just kind of trumps this in my eyes. But I did want to go ahead and give you guys this comparison in case you can't get the Vamp Stamp. I have no idea what the Vamp Stamp is doing. They've been a little quiet since the whole COVID started happening at the beginning of the year, and I hope they're not shutting down. But just in case something happened, I figured this would be helpful. And because you guys did ask to see a comparison, I did want to go ahead and do that. So that is what we are going to be doing today. Really quick though, before we dive in, I have to do my Instagram shout out. And for today's Instagram shout out, I'm going to scoot it over here, but it is Katie's Daily Makeup. She has been a longtime follower of me on both Instagram and on YouTube. So Katie, you get the shout out for today. Thank you so much for always interacting with my content. It means so much to me. I always love reading your comments. But yeah, if you want to get a chance to get a shout out in the beginning of one of my videos, all you have to do is be following me on Instagram and interact with my content, leave comments on my posts, videos, what have you. And before I sit down to film, I always go over to my most recent post, randomly select a comment, and give you guys a shout out. But yeah, with all that said, now let's get on into the demo of putting them on my eyes. Okay, so I am ready to put my wing liner on. I think I'm going to use the Quick Flicks on this side. So I'm going to use the right one for this side, and then I'm going to use my Vamp Stamp in Vixen on this side. So no real rhyme or reason here. For the Vamp Stamp, as I've already said, I'm going to be using the NYX Matte Liquid Liner because it's my favorite. But as I already said, as long as you have one that doesn't dry down too fast because you don't want it to dry on the applicator, I haven't really noticed a huge difference. Though I guess if it's too liquidy, I guess it could be messier, so maybe a pen will be fine. This is a little liquidier, but I just am careful and I don't have a problem with it. So let's go ahead and we'll do the Vamp Stamp first since I've done it for so long. And this is kind of like what I am comparing this against. We'll do the Vamp Stamp first. And as I said, I'm going to use this NYX one and I'm going to get the correct side. So my left wing, and I'm just going to shake it up real good as you guys saw. And then now, if I can pull this out, I'm just going to put a very thin layer like that. And then I'm going to line it up and hopefully do it well since I'm actually on camera this time. There we go. Like I said, I use this every single day, so I was kind of afraid that today when I have to do it on camera, I would mess up because we all have those days. Okay, so now I'm just going to take it and line the rest of my eye and complete it out. I guess I should tell you, whenever I pull this out of the well, just to get as much of a point as I can, I pull it out and then I wipe both sides on it to kind of flatten it, and then I take that flat spot and that's what I work with. that's what we have so far. It's a little thin for what my final I feel like it's gonna be, but usually I kind of get the skeleton, I kind of call it, of what I want my wings, and then I do the other side. That way if I mess up on this side too much, I have room to work with on this side. That's how I do my wings. But anyway, now that we have that set, I mean, I like it. If I had to keep it like that, I think it'd look really pretty. And this is a little tiny wing. Oh, I think I forgot a spot. I'm so bad when it comes to like paying attention to the lash line, like right in there. Making sure there's no holes. Sometimes when I take the picture of the close-up for the eye, I'm just like, Katie, you missed that spot. Okay, so now we're gonna go with the quick flick. So this isn't a first impression or anything. I will say though, the tip, you have to be careful because it is like sticking out from the sides of it. The first time I opened it, the tip of one of these was actually bent. Like the flick of it was bent inward, I guess because when it was closing in the manufacturer, it just hit the side too much, so it bent. So now every time that I open it, maybe it's this one, I have to be careful because sometimes I open it and it will be bent again, and then I'll have to straighten it out. No, it's not that one, so it must be this one. But anyway, yeah, see, it just did it. Let me show you. Okay, I hope this is in focus, but do we see the bent tip? Which honestly, I just realized it's not even bent, it's broken right there. Oh, this is gonna really stink. I think I can make it work for this video, but yeah, like it's broken. I should have done this first because then I could have just swapped dyes. I think I can make it work because I can hold it down. Now I know with this I could just contact the company because it did come already bent and they probably send me a new one, but I feel like that's something to keep in mind. Even if it's perfect when it arrives, the more you open and shut it and the more you use it, you could potentially break it off. So just something to keep in mind. I am going to make this work. Oh wait, this is the wrong eye. Wait, is it? Wait, what side is this? This is the left. Oh good, this is the left. Whew, save my butt there. We're gonna do the right one on this side, but that is something to keep in mind. And another reason why I don't know, this is just so easy. I know I'm trying to stay unbiased here and just show you guys the comparison. But anyway, I'm gonna open it. The good thing about this is I don't ever have to worry about like stamping it into anything. I don't have to worry about it drying out or anything. I think I got a pen on my neck because it is continuously there, like the ink is always there. So that is nice, no rush. But now I am going to do my best to line this up and stamp it on. Okay, I think that's pretty good. It's also, you know, gonna be a bit shorter just because the wings are shorter. I'm not really holding it against that or holding that against it. I can speak. Okay, so now I'm gonna take the other side, which is a felt tip. Now, I don't really like felt tips when it comes to wing liner because I just feel like it's hard to get a very precise, like, I don't know, brush tips are just so much easier. So already that's a little bit of a dox for me when it comes to this product. And then also, it's a very large tip. When it comes to a pen liquid liner, I prefer a brush tip, as I said, but this is the size I prefer just because it's so easy to get it very precise. And this is how big this is. So it's just a little too large for my preferences. But anyway, I have found it, I can get pretty precise if I kind of keep to the tip and don't like lay it down so much, so like draw on, but it's just a little bit of a trickier for me. So let's do this. I feel like the felt stamp, I don't know if you can see if it caught onto hair around here or if it bled, but it's looking a little feathery right there, which isn't my preferences. But I mean, the stamp can be a little messy some days too. Anyway. Okay, I think that is pretty darn. Not too crooked today. Usually when I have to sit down and do an eyeliner video, it's the most crooked it ever is. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to put on a mascara and put on some gel liner, and I'll get some close-ups so we can really get up close and look at this eyeliner. Let's ignore the eyeshadow, but we'll be able to look at this up close and kind of be able to see. But yeah, let me finish up and we can complete this video. Okay, so here's the completed look. Per usual, I'll stick up the close-ups so you guys can really be able to see. I feel like on the Vamp Stamp side, I probably should have filled the bottom of it up just a little bit, but maybe that's just my critical eye. I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of a gap there that I could have filled up, and I'll probably do it after this video. But you know, these stamps make wing liners so much easier, but they're not like without fault. They don't make it so it's incapable of messing up. You can still totally mess up up with the Vamp Stamp or the Quick Flicks. It just depends on the day. But with that out of the way, there's just some obvious cons with the Quick Flicks that make it not worth the purchase for me. Number one is it is expensive and you have to buy these as a set because you need a right and a left one. And with that, I kind of like and dislike that while they give you the stamp on one end, the other end on both of them is a felt tip. It is nice because no matter which one you have in your hand, you can use whichever one you want to line it out, but I just feel like it's going to get very clunky and clumsy and cluttery because like you use these for 3 months, this end dries out, but really only one of these might be dried out or maybe both of them are halfway. I just feel like you're wasting product. Does that make sense? I just feel like it will be a waste, and again, this is expensive and in 3 months you have to repurchase. And honestly, that's the biggest con to me, no matter what. I mean, sure, I'm gonna end up using these at least 6 months, maybe more. And as I already said, this I got like a year and a half ago, and I don't have to ever repurchase this unless I break it or whatever, but it is like a silicone tip, so it's very easy to clean and not ruin. And I just use whatever liquid liner that's liquidy enough and doesn't dry too fast. Any one of the 10 that I have will work with this. So I feel like just price-wise, and when you're thinking about your money you're gonna have to put into a stamp liner. So on one hand, you have this where, you know, I think this is maybe under $20, but then you're repurchasing, you know, frequently every 3-6 months. This is, I think, under $10. It's like $7 or $8, opposed to this where you have to repurchase this, and I think it was over 20, 30. I forget exactly how much. I'm putting them on the screen, but it's a lot more expensive that you have to repurchase every 3 to 6 months. And I just feel like price-wise, that's going to get expensive. Going down to the products at hand, as I said, I really don't like the felt tip, and it's so large it makes getting very detailed wings, because this is my preferred wing. I suppose if you like really big clunky wings, this probably wouldn't be as big an issue, but for me personally, I don't like how big it is, and I don't like that it's a felt tip. And then on the other side with the stamp, I mean, as you guys saw in the video, it broke just from opening and shutting it a couple times, and I've been very careful to make sure I put it in right, but just when you go to open it, you naturally have to bend it a little bit to kind of break that seal. At least I do. I mean, I guess you could go straight. I don't know, there's something about opening it. You just tend to give it a little bit of a bend, and I feel like doing that just snapped it off. And I don't know if this would be a recurring problem. As I said, I think it was already initially bent coming from the factory, so maybe if it wasn't already weakened, it would never have broken. But this is something I'm going to have to continue using, and whenever I put these in my empties, I can let you know if this one ended up breaking or whatnot. But I feel like that's definitely something to consider when you're going to buy this, because you don't ever have to worry about that with the Vamp Stamp, because it can just go in your desk like this, and it's not super delicate at the tip because it has a pretty good base to it, whereas this, as you guys are going to see in the close-ups, it kind of sticks out and it's very thin and whatnot, so it's very delicate. I don't know, there's just something about it that makes this a lot more fragile in my mind. So honestly, those are kind of the biggest drawbacks, and I feel like I feel very biased right now because I do really enjoy the Vamp Stamp, but in the past, these were things that kept me from buying the Quick Flicks, and then now that I've bought it, I've kind of still seen those issues arising. And you know, just the fact that you have to have 2 things and you have to use 2 different applicators, where this is just one thing with whatever you want to line your eyes. I don't know, it's just a little bit more work, a little bit more effort, more difficult than I think it needs to be. I think if I found these first, I would have fallen in love with them because I do love the stamp aspect. It makes doing my wings so much easier, so much quicker, and most days I can get it right. So I probably would have absolutely loved these, maybe purchased a couple of them, but if I would have stumbled across this after, I feel like I would have dropped the Quick Flicks really quick, just because there's just something really nice about having to buy this once and then not needing to buy it ever again. Like I said, you can buy the pot if you like that little aspect of being able to dip it in there. It's got a little mesh in there and it makes it really easy to pick up the product, and it is a nice product for stamping. I think it's a little thin in my opinion for lining the formula, but it's good for that initial stamp. But you guys know me, I like to save when I can, and the fact that I can buy this once and then just use whatever liquid liner I have on hand, it's just more cost effective at the end of the day. The money I'm going to spend on wing liner in a year with this as opposed to this is just drastically different. So that's honestly the biggest reason for me why I don't foresee myself repurchasing and why I would recommend the Vamp Stamp over the Quick Flicks. But if you don't want to focus on the money aspect of it, even the product itself, I'm just not as wowed by the Quick Flicks as I am by the Vamp Stamp. There's just something really nice, sleek. I mean, the Vamp Stamp really hit it out of the park when they created this, and this is nice, but it's not as good as this, so it's kind of like, why settle for this and spend more money settling for this when you could buy this and be set? So that's kind of like my opinion on it. As I said, I was trying to be very unbiased when it came to this review and give you guys both the pros and the cons of each of the product. I mean, yes, you know, there are cons with this. You know, you're not going to get it right every time. Like I said, if you put too much product, too much liquid on the tip, you're going to make a mess and whatnot. If you don't line it up right, you can make a mess. There are cons to this, but I feel like they're just by far so many fewer cons with this than with this. So that's kind of like You guys know by now I prefer the Vamp Stamp and Vixen, but I hope this side-by-side demo, me being able to try these products and actually say for myself, because before I could just assume because I never had it and I just could assume that this was better. But now that I've tried it, I can honestly tell you guys I still do prefer and recommend the Vamp Stamp and Vixen over this Quick Flicks in this style. I forgot what style I got. I probably should have said that in the beginning. I think it's To the Point is this style, because they have a couple different styles just like this. They have some big ones. I like very straight little wings, and then I can make them bigger myself. For me personally, these stamps are more guidelines. I don't need to get the whole official wing. I just need a direction and an angle, and then I can kind of do the rest myself. So that's kind of what I see these tools being used for. But they do have bigger, more curved, larger, whatever wings that you can buy in both of these brands if you want to create the full wing so that all you have to do is the line. But anyway, getting off on a rabbit trail there. I hope this video is helpful for you guys, just being able to see it side by side and hear my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I'm really curious to hear which one you guys would prefer to get. If you've tried either one of these, I'd love to hear your experience down below, and I think it'd be helpful to get a lot of people's opinions if you've tried the Vamp Stamp or the Quick Flicks and what your experience is and which one you prefer if you've tried both. I would love to hear that down below in the comments. But yeah, with all this said, per usual, if you enjoyed watching this, please hit the thumbs up button on the way out, as it helps me in the whole YouTube algorithm. If you want to continue getting daily content from me, I do post about every day on my Instagram, and it's LadyKatie92. But yeah, with all that said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.